guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today in the Ask SSM video series, got an email from a subscriber. This guy's 25 years old. He lives in the Lone Star State, and he's definitely a guy who's doing things right at his age. He's on his grind. He's trying to establish himself, getting his body into good shape, all the things that young guys should be doing, not focusing on relationships. However, now that he's 25, his family sounds like they're starting to be on him about relationships and his future and a marriage and a wedding and a wife and all that, because conservative family and it's pretty traditional from where he comes from. And so they volunteered their services to help fix him up with a girl. Fix him up with a traditional girl, as a lot of his family lives south of the border. And so he's looking for my advice on this, whether he should, accept their offer to help them find a girl. And so I'm going to go through his story here and share my opinion on the subject, because maybe some of you guys have heard stories what happens when the families get involved with that type of thing. And also he wants to know, or should he hold out and continue establishing himself, losing the weight, getting in good shape, saving money, building his career, all that. Essentially, purpose over the other P word, amongst other things. Before I do, I got a real short story here a guy sent in about an adventure he had with an ex-girlfriend who got kicked to the curb when she crossed the line with the whole girl strip thing. So the first story, this guy says, "Hello SSM. I just want to say thanks for all that you do with this channel and your other ones. As someone who's in his late 40s, had these been around 12 to 15 years prior, I probably would have saved us a lot of time, heartache, and money. I've been listening to and watching your content for a little over a year now, and while I may not agree with every single take you have, it has been good to listen to." Dude, number one, thank you for watching, and I'm glad it's helped out and you found it enjoyable. And two, I don't expect everybody to agree with everything I say. I have people I watch on YouTube for a lot of financial stuff and everything. I'll agree with everything they say, but they still overwhelmingly do good shows and they're entertaining. As a veteran, I can confirm that all those stereotypes are true. Oh, now you're agreeing with me. If you're thinking about enlisting, do not get married during your first enlistment. He wrote that in giant letters, guys, for the young guys out there. And even if you stay in, need to be extremely cautious afterwards. Many stories from me and my battle buddies getting screwed because of it. You heard it from another military guy. Here's a quick story about getting to know your girlfriend's friends. While I did do quite a few of the nice guy things, but as a single father, I didn't have time to do a lot of weekend clubbing bar scene type of stuff. Things were going pretty well for us, but her friend, Elaine, was objectively a good 8 or 9, and while we got along okay, I wasn't her best supporter. But they had been best friends for years, so I held her at arm's length. I didn't really let the girlfriend go over without me for more than 30 minutes or so. Okay, so this dude's girlfriend from back in the day has that friend who's an 8 or 9 in the looks department. A girl that's an 8 can walk into a room and dudes are going to notice her. A girl that's 9 could walk anywhere and dudes are fucking drooling. Well, most dudes. And I tell you guys, you don't make 9s or 10s your girlfriends. They're hookups, they're friends with benefits, they're a rental. That's it. And the 8 or 9 is pretty close to that. So when your girl's hanging out one of those types, she likes to frequent the bars and the clubs and Vegas and girls trips and all that, and she's interested in boyfriends, relationships, that's trouble. So we were dating about 5 to 6 months when my girlfriend brought up that Elaine was going to take her to Las Vegas for a weekend. I instantly got suspicious. Well, good for you. So even back then you had some knowledge. When I asked her how could she afford that on the office salary from where she worked at, that's when it was dropped that she also works at a strip club a few towns over, and one of her regulars was going to pay for the trip. But her friend didn't feel safe going alone, so she talked him into paying for the two of them to go. What a jackass. So, turns out this 8 or 9 is moonlights as a stripper. Shocker. That's a quality girl for your girlfriend to hang out with. And one of her regulars is financing him to go to Vegas. What is this guy getting out of it? Now 2 people? I immediately got my mind thinking about what I wanted and told her I need a day or so to think about it. Smack! A day or so to think about it? Come on, dude. I figured you could know what to do right then and there. Meaning I needed time to think about where we were really headed. With the ambivalence I had for her friend and a lot of things adding up after finding out that info, later that week I basically told her it's either me or the trip. Oh boy. You're so controlling. You're so insecure. You're an asshole. He says, then bring on the I love yous. Would never do anything like that to hurt you crap. I just restated, if you're going, we're through. There you go, man. Clear as day. Cue the call I received about 9:30 that Saturday night. And she was saying, I miss you. I never should have come here, please. Tuscan Raider tears and all. So I packed up her stuff that she had at my place, dropped off her friend's house, and snapped a picture of it and sent it to her. I muted the phone, went home, and started playing PlayStation with my boys. I enjoyed the voicemails the next morning with my breakfast, and then blocked all phone numbers from her and her friends. So with that, continue to do the good work, SSM. Stay strong and enjoy Florida. There you go, guys. He made it as clear as day. You go on this trip, we're done. Well, she went on the trip, packed up all her shit, and they always seem to leave shit at your house. All you guys have had girlfriends know how they, before they moved in with you, they always leave shit. They're marking their fucking territory. Gather that shit up. Whoosh, there you go. Good. Made it clear. That is not girlfriend material. And you always pay attention to who their friends are. And her friend's a fucking stripper. Yeah, no good's going to come from that. So good job, dude. Okay, on to the Ask SSM with the guy who needs our help with the whole family trying to be matchmaker to him. This guy says, hello, SSM. A long-time listener here, first time emailing you. I'm 25 years old, from Texas, and come from a pretty conservative family and striving to do better for myself. I'm currently on a weight loss journey and seeing some results, but still have work to do. I really wish there was a boxing gym closer to home, as I really miss sparring. That'd be great if you had a boxing gym, because that way you have a fun way of doing good cardio and everything, and you can learn some skills. But good for you, man. Find a way. Find out some other cardio you like. But remember, you're trying to lose body fat. Cardio is only going to take you so far. You got to change your diet. And I don't mean dieting, starving yourself, just eating the good food. But if you're in Texas, I can only imagine all the good barbecue and Tex-Mex, Mexican food, and all that stuff. That would be very difficult, not to mention the cerveza. So hit the gym, do your cardio, whatever you might like, hit the weights. That's all important in a safe manner, of course. But it's all about the diet, dude. But of course, you make any drastic changes, talk to your doctor first. Little disclaimer there. Aside from that, I tend to put a lot of effort into my current job and my side business, which tends to have not leave me with a whole much time to associate with others. You're on your grind, dude. You're in your mid-20s. You're only in your mid-20s once. You got the energy. You have no commitments. Use your time to establish yourself in your job and your side business. So one day maybe that side business could be your full-time business. I can't tell you how great it is to work for yourself. I don't really mind too much. I'd rather put an energy into building something for myself in my spare time than do that retirement at what new age? 70. Yeah, dude. I'm going to be completely honest with you, but throughout my teens, I was a total SIMP, male orbiter, you name it, giving time, resources, and energy with the potential possibility of getting any chance at women. Brother, most guys watching this were SIMPs at some point in varying degrees, or are that way now, and even I was that way in stages of my teenage years. What usually happened is I got so sick of how I was being treated by girls that I would do a 180 and do full-on asshole for a while, and I was amazed at the results I magically was getting, but that wasn't me, and then I go right back to my old nice guy bitch ways until I eventually started to find the happy medium. I think I started my R-pill journey towards the beginning of the virus. I started listening to other good channels, eventually leading me to you, which I tend to lean towards listening more and more. The top 3 things I get out of listening to the R-pill community is the following: that men need to stay in shape, stay on their purpose, and never stay in comfort zone. I agree with that, dude. Guys, you gotta stay in shape, keep yourself healthy, and not just so you can get chicks to pay attention to you. Do it so you can be healthy. So you're not spending a fortune in healthcare costs and medicine and all that shit later in life. You want to prolong your life, have a good quality life by being healthy. That includes regular exercise, resistance exercise, and eating good stuff the vast majority of the time. Oh yes, women will notice you and you look better, but that's not your primary concern. Staying on your purpose, on your grind, making something yourself. Again, you're going to feel really good about yourself when you're having achievements, doing something for yourself, maybe one day starting that business you ever wanted to, or moving up the ladder of the company that you really like, or anything. That's pure masculine energy at its core, the grind, the purpose, achievements, all that. Again, do it for yourself. But yes, women like guys that are trying to make something of themselves. And the last one, he says, don't stay in your comfort zone. Again, life is short, guys. Some of the best things that have ever happened to me when I went out of my comfort zone. And the same thing can happen to you. You got to have balls to go for things that you want, and your life will be infinitely better. Will everything work out the first time? Not always, but you go for it. And again, guys that go for things and go out of their comfort zone, that is attractive to women. But do all these things for yourself to better your life first, not just with chicks in mind. Let that be a perk if that's what you want. I'm not doing a lot of extra talking instead of story reading today, guys, but I'm saying things to help teach. I heard from one of the other podcasters that you can't even play the game unless you're decently fit and have your crap somewhat together, because women nowadays want an already assembled man. Well, newsflash, women 50 years ago, 100 years ago, wanted guys to have their shit together before they got with them. That's no different, but there's degrees of this shit. Nowadays, you got 22-year-old girls expecting every guy to walk around making $1 million a year, amongst many other things. Yeah, totally nuts. But yes, you got to take care of yourself. A good woman will see that you're a great guy. Yeah, you got things to offer. You may not be at the top of the mountain yet, but you're on the way, and that's fine. But even then, just be very, very careful. Which brings me to now, I kind of got caught up with a family offering to help me. Oh, here we go. Being from a Hispanic descent, my family are kind of in the tradition of having their kids married or on the way to marriage at a young age. Yes, I tended to notice that, given that I live in South Florida, yes. I already know that I don't have the experience to deal with the majority of women in the West. To be fair, not at that point where I would catch their eye. Having a major part of my family far south of the border, both sides of my family are currently talking about trying to find me a traditional woman. Be careful there. I'm not sure if I should be opposed to this idea. If I were to go along, I would have to travel back and forth to the homelands to meet and greet for both family parties to see if there's interest primarily. Would this be a route to take while on the road to self-improvement, or should I get to where I am better off first and then try to fail and adjust afterwards? With so little dating experience and the crazy stories of the marriages failing in this politically correct feelings over facts society we have in the West, any advice on this and the comer? Thank you for what you do. Okay, well, let's look at this. If you've heard some of the stories I've covered when family gets involved with matchmaking, the unfortunate thing is that you would think with families, you, as the guy, come first. But sadly, a lot of times these family members, particularly the female family members, because let's be honest, they want to play matchmaker, a lot of them are less concerned about their sons as they are to thinking, ooh, my best friend's daughter and them will get together and we'll all be family and yay, it'll be so wonderful, like a fucking movie. Be careful with family playing matchmaker, because not your best interest may not always be the top priority. They may think that and claim that, oh, she's such a good girl. Well, do they really know her? Or are they really truly focused on what you want? Or the fact is, let's just say you got family that they introduce you to, a young gal in her early 20s or something that is a friend or whatever. And say it starts off well, but then you have problems. Well, next thing you know, the whole family's involved in your business. Or you two break up because you have a good solid reason, and now you're being guilt-tripped by your mom and your sister and your aunties and grandma and everybody else because they know her family and they're friends with them, and they want you to work it out, sticking their nose in your business. And if you don't work things out, it's going to damage our friendship and pressure there. You don't need that shit, Now, if you're talking about, besides being a passport bro and finding traditional gals that haven't been infected by Western feminism, I'm all for that. But again, in your mid-20s, that's not your top priority, my friend. You've been doing a good job. You said you're working hard to get your body in shape. Good. Keep doing that. You're working hard at your job because you got to pay the bills and move on up. Keep doing that. You're building a side business. So doing all that stuff, that's pretty darn time-consuming. And the time to do that stuff is when you're young and don't have the attachments. Because the second they fix you with a girl, now your time from that side business you're dreaming about is going to her. Your money is going to her, taking her out and all that, you know? And if in your culture it's pretty traditional that you get married young and start having a lot of babies, well, I'm going to tell you right now, it's challenging enough to have your own job, then start a side business, and keep your ass in shape, and get some rest and sleep at night, you know, to make something yourself with that amount of time, let alone you got a girlfriend who's pressuring you about getting married, or if you have kids. Because let me tell you, it's not impossible, but if you're married and have kids, all the things you got to take care of, and then try to start a side business, good fucking luck. And I know all the guys out there that are married are like, you know, not to mention all the housework you got to do and everything else, and taking kids to the dentist and the doctor and soccer and ballet and making sure they do their homework. Oh, a room for a side business? When are you going to fucking sleep? Or when your wife wants to take her out? So I say, now in your mid-20s, put on hold the relationships and the family fixing up with somebody else. Okay? Continue doing what you're doing with your business, getting your body in shape. And then where you are, if say maybe you turn 30 years old, then, and maybe that part-time business turns into a full-time business, you've put a lot more money away, you're doing well, then maybe if that's what you want relationship-wise, then you can think about that. But I say no, not now. Because remember, dude, if you turn 30, can you have babies at 30? Yes. Can men, you know, impregnate their girlfriends or wives at 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 and have kids? Yes. There's no fucking rush. And as you're aware, the older you get, the more of a catch you are. But I do caution you, as I say all the time, if you're the type of guy that girls never paid attention to, and all of a sudden you're in your mid-20s like right now, and you're establishing yourself, and all of a sudden they're paying attention to you, but nothing about your personality or physique or charisma or any game, if you will, has changed, beware. Especially American women, Western women. So that isn't a bad idea, being the passport bro later on in time to potentially find a traditional gal from where your family's from. But wait until you're older. That's what I think. And as having your family involved, I got no problem. Like if it's a few years from now and you're more established, and then where you are where you want to be, and then you're thinking about it because you're a relationship guy, and you're visiting family down south of the border, and you happen to meet a gal, that's different than having them actively involved doing it. But don't put it past them that know that you're coming to town to visit, and all of a sudden they're inviting all the daughters and nieces of their friends to come on over to the family gathering. Oh, meet Louisa over here. Meet such and such. Be careful. Family loves play matchmaker. And even then, if you're in a good place and you go on your own terms, still, don't put it past the women in your family to be conspiring and plotting to have you meet this girl over here and this girl over here that they all know and they know their family. Seriously. Because the problems can occur with sometimes their interest is more important than your interest. So I would just say proceed with caution. So right now, bro, if it were me, I'd continue focusing on the grind and all that in your life and bettering yourself and all that, and keep learning what you can. And while you're doing this, doesn't mean you can't have a date here and there purely for just practice, getting some experience. Just like anything, the better you get it, you know, but I would be careful letting yourself getting attached. Right now, it's about the grind. And then down the road, but again, I would personally do your hunt on your own down the road. Be careful family getting involved to help. That's what I think. My very long fucking answer to your question, but I had to say it. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me just think about this. Let this guy know what you think. Let him know if you agree with me that he's 25. He should continue doing what he's doing, bettering himself, bettering his life. If you don't think that, then you can tell him too. That's okay. And also let him know what you think about having family involved playing Matchmaker, the pros and cons and the pitfalls and all that there. Because I'm sure some of you guys have been through that. Maybe some of you guys had some good experiences. I don't know. But let's help this dude out. So good luck, man, and let me know down the road how you're doing and what you decide. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. Now, catch you next time.